Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here with another TW video. Today we've got one of our big four pay-per-views. The last big one of 2019 is of course the Survivor Series. We've got 26 segments booked on the show, quite a few angles today. I'm going to be perfectly honest, this show probably could have ran for probably 400, 500 minutes had we not cut a lot of matches from the show, a lot of singles bouts that I just decided weren't probably worth it on the pay-per-view, so they've kind of been nixed into 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series matchups. Well, we say traditional, it's still going to be the first fall gets a win, but as I say, carries feuds onto the pay-per-view, gives us some angles and storylines to carry on going out of the pay-per-view into the Raw and SmackDown exclusives going forward. And yeah, just a really good show. All the big names are on it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We are booking it Lansdowne Road in Ireland. Haven't booked a show in the UK and Ireland for a while, so I thought let's give them a pay-per-view and let's hopefully get a good rating on pay-per-view. Couple of swerves, big surprise. Already laying down some foundations for WrestleMania. I've got a couple of matches in the back of my mind that I want to book for WrestleMania. Wonder how many of them we can hint at in this show. So here we go. This is Survivor Series. Let's crack on and see what kind of rating we get. Enjoy, guys. So we start off with a pre-show match just to get some of our ladies on the show. 46,814 at Lansdowne Road, and it was the Aussie and New Zealand team of Peyton Royce, Emma, Megan Kay, Billie Kay and Demi Bennett, who defeated Alexa Bliss, Mandy Rose, Nicole Matthews, Abby Laith and Sienna Allison in 10 minutes and 18 when they had Billie Kay defeating Mandy Rose by pinfall with a boyfriend stealer. It's actually quite a surprising matchup. We got a decent C plus 68 rating, which I'm quite happy with. A lot of good performances in there. Billie Kay, Megan Kay, a surprising one in there as well, and Demi Bennett. It is really a case of just building up some depth in the women's division and making sure going into 2020 it's not the same old faces we do have to look going forward. So decent there, a few poor gimmicks and the like, but as I say, this is some of our ladies who are enhancement talents and some who are just making their way up the card. So good win for the face females. So we start the show properly. Usual pyro hype video to start off the show. We're hyping up our main event. It is the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, SmackDown's main championship, and it is the dream match we all want to see. The champion Jinder Mahal, because everyone doesn't want to hinder the Jinder, but standing in his way is not one former member of the Shield, but all three members. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns have been up against it. Roman Reigns, of course, the winner of the Grand Prix. He gets title shot. Seth Rollins with a shock victory on SmackDown earned him a title shot, and Dean Ambrose, of course, plagued his way on SmackDown as well. So A-Star 95, show off to a strong start. That could be a hell of a main event tonight. But we start off with a poor matchup because it was the fourth time between them. I tried to make it the best one possible. Unfortunately, it didn't work. It got the crowd hotter regardless, and it was a match that had some great wrestling and good heat. Grand Metalik defeats Neville in 1907 with the corkscrew somersault senton bomb, making the fourth defence of his Cruiserweight title. Really just to end the storyline between them. A D43, I mean, it is bad. It is the fourth time they've wrestled. I did try and make the match long and to tell a story, but unfortunately flopped. It was a risk, but that's why it is the first match. Metalik will continue as champion. Neville will move on to other things in the Cruiserweight division, and it's up to us to build a new challenger for the Luchador. Next up, we've got a promo with Jeff Hardy. He's cutting a promo on his brother Matt. The storyline here, they got a B86 rating. It was effectively Jeff Hardy had been injured, so we had Matt Hardy appearing on pay-per-views and Raw, teaming with random wrestlers, continually losing. Matt blamed this streak on Jeff, and then we had an angle where Matt Hardy got beaten down by many a wrestler, effectively injuring him, and you could say breaking Matt Hardy. We are pretty much going to go with the broken Matt story against Jeff, and accompanying Matt Hardy is going to be Rebby Sky, his wife, of course, or Rebby Hardy in real life. So the Delete storyline has advanced and gained a bit of heat. The matchup itself was decent. It had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and Matt defeated Jeff in 14-14 by pinfall with a twist of fate after Rebby Sky interfered. B79, Matt and Rebby play off each other well. 78 for Jeff, 65 for Matt. We have to build Matt up from the ground, and as I say, it's just the start of what hopefully will be a long outstanding feud between Matt and Jeff. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. It was about to have good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and it saw Kellyanne English defeat Mia Yim, and of course the War of the Women's, the Mae Young Classic winner, Charlotte, in 1718 when Kellyanne English defeated Mia Yim with a roaring bicep. Kellyanne English is your SmackDown Women's Champion, so title change here. B78, so it was okay. I was kind of hoping to try and get into the B pluses. Some good performances. Charlotte dragging in an 83 there. There was a temptation to put the title on Charlotte, but I felt in terms of overness, Kellyanne English is at 70 odd. A win here should propel her to 75, getting her up well. She's been on a good run of victories as well. I think Charlotte can take a win at any point, but gives us a new champion, another name in the women's division, and yeah, pretty happy that Kellyanne English is our SmackDown Women's Champion. And as she heads to the back, Charlotte has a stare down with Dana Brooke, who's competing for the Raw Women's Championship. Could there be a bit of egos clashing there, or a bit of tension? But a B plus 88 segment there. Charlotte coming out looking good. Dana Brooke coming out of this looking excellent. This is merely a week after Dana Brooke was on the internet claiming that she's carrying the WWE on her back. Yes, that is the same Dana Brooke as real life. I'm absolutely just find it bizarre that she's turned out so good in this save, but it is what it is, and yeah, it's happened. So I guess we kind of need to deal with it. That Dana Brooke is a star. Just wow. Anyway, the Raw Women's match, as I say, also had good wrestling and a decent reaction from our audience, and it saw Dana Brooke defeat Bayley, Paige, and Melissa in 1626 when Dana Brooke defeated Bayley with a Samoan driver, Dana becoming the Women's Champion. She carried the match with Bayley being the weak link. I think that would be roles reversed in real life, but B79, the actual plan wasn't to put it on Dana, but she basically moaned when anyone tried to win. Even when Melissa, who was going to initially go over and retain her title, was going over, her and Paige both moaned. So I felt like, do you know what? Let's put it on Dana. She's going to be a dual champion. Hopefully it then can help push Chris Wolf, her tag partner, as well. And as I say, it can give us a lot of fresh matchups. Bayley, I don't know. I just need to find something for her. There's big plans because Melissa's in a faction with the Sisterhood, with Nicole Matthews and Abby Leif. We'll try and do something with Paige, but the fact we're getting Dana Brooke with an 89 rated performance means hopefully a B plus or an A minus match for the women's division hopefully will be soon, and we can go from strength to strength. So Dana Brooke, new champion in the Raw side of things. Could we see some more title changes over the course of the night? Remains to be seen. So next up, with our first 5-on-5 match, and it was representing the 205 Live Cruiserweight division, and it was about that saw good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It was the heels that won. It was Will Ospreay, Pete Dunne, Marty Scurll, Manny Andrade, and Rich Swann, who defeated the team of Akira Tozawa, Angelico, Chad Gable, Caristico, and Hiroshi Yamato in 11:53 when Marty Scurll defeated Yamato by pinfall with a graduation. B8 is okay, good show from these guys, no real storyline, but again, just putting some guys over. Yamato's leaving, I've got nothing for him, he's 36, so let's job him out on the pay-per-view, get some momentum and some skill improvements for the heels here, because a lot of these guys are going to be the future of this company. Big things ahead for some of them. Next up, we had basically a 4-on-4 matchup. It was, you may as well just say, one of our traditional Survivor matches, but it was with the tag teams in tag division, and it was about to have some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. And it saw Gallows and Anderson and the Usos with a shock victory over the Masters of Wrestling and the New Day in 1822 when Carol Anderson defeated Xavier Woods by pinfall with an Anderson spinebuster after a distraction from the returning and still toxic, so a massive risk being taken, Virgil Devitt. I've just decided we've got enough money in the bank. We've already went from global to effectively cult. So I thought, you know what, let's just take the risk on Virgil Devitt. We'll take the hit in attendances. We'll We'll take the hit on sponsorship. 400 million in the bank, we should still be fine. So we're going to keep Fergal Devitt. We're going to see how much of a backlash we get from it, but I think we should be fine. So he is back, teaming with Gallows and Anderson. He's debuted a backstabber gimmick, which got an above average rating. Continues the New Day and Uso storyline. This is all about the real rock and roller and his return to the WWE. And after the matchup, we basically just see the New Day getting beaten down by Gallows, Anderson, and Devitt. So he's back. What we'll do as well is we'll change his name from Fergal Devitt to Finn Balor. That was kind of on me for not changing that. So he will be Finn Balor again. But yeah. In fact, do I keep him as Fergal Devitt? Actually, I might keep him as Fergal Devitt on the basis he could say the Finn Balor name is tainted because of the toxic comments he made, and he wants to be known as Fergal Devitt, the true real rock and roller who caused chaos beforehand. So I could keep him as Fergal Devitt and see how much we can get out of him in the next 2 years. So Fergal back in the WWE. And I thought of all of that on the spot. Next up, we've got Aleister Black, Bray Wyatt, and Kenny Omega, a very strange trio backstage. Just basically a small little promo, just basically advising each other to watch each other's back in the 5-on-5 match. Kenny Omega's got to watch out for Randy Orton, Aleister Black for Bo Dallas. Bray Wyatt doesn't have a feud, but he's just there. So A90, great promo, hopefully makes all three look really good. Match itself actually succeeded expectations, and it was about that had superb wrestling and great heat. The team of Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, Kenny Omega, Bray Wyatt, and Shane Strickland defeated the team of Bo Dallas, Braun Strowman, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, and The Miz in 1749 when Kenny Omega defeated The Miz with Cross Wrath. So a B+87, a very good rating there. Hopefully it's a push that can maybe get us somewhere with Kenny. He hasn't really gotten there. Maybe a big victory list can push him on, as he had one of the lower ratings in this matchup alongside Aleister Black. But these are guys we are looking to get over. It did improve 4 storylines with 2 gaining heat, so that's good to see. And yeah, just again, giving the baby faces a win to kind of spread it out. As I say, happy with that, happy with the rating as well. Next up, we had an exceptional matchup, which wasn't really reflected in its rating. But Austin Aries defeated Rusev in 1752 with the Brainbuster, Double A making his second defence of the US title. These two have been going at it, Rusev and Aries, distracting each other. Rusev wanted his US title back, but Double A's been good, just suffered from a lack of psychology, which probably dropped this down from an A, if I'm honest. So disappointing, good performances from both guys, Double A standing out, but he retains, skill improves, and yeah, he's doing well considering he's 40 in game with no declining physical ability, so happy with that. I would try and find someone else for Austin Aries to feud going forward. Next up, we've got Dolph Ziggler cut a promo on this matchup with Zack Sabre Jr. C+67, man. I know Dolph's mic skills are a bit questionable, but that is quite poor. Poor morale didn't help him, poor momentum. Dolph Ziggler's been in a kind of trio feud between himself, Zack Sabre Jr. and Adam Cole, the European Championship, the champion. These 3 guys will do battle for the championship in a moment. Dolph had been teaming with one of his opponents, just trying to get the win, just try and gain some momentum. He kept losing, and it got to a stage Zack Sabre Jr. just snapped and just attacked Dolph Ziggler, turning heel. I just felt Sabre Jr. needed something fresh. It wasn't his strong suit, but I thought, you know what, let's try him as a heel submission specialist. So he took the turn there as a disgruntled wrestler attacking Dolph. So a little feud there. Let's see how their matchup does. Flopped as well, that's quite disappointing. A good matchup. So Adam Cole defeat Dolph Ziggler and Zack Sabre Jr. in 1913 when Adam Cole defeated Dolph Ziggler by pinfall with a flying crossbody. Adam Cole making the 6th defence of a prestigious European Championship. It is in game, maybe not ever was in real life. In terms of carrying the match, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. B-76 is poor. Ziggler with 69, Cole with 71, so it's Cole we're building up. Ziggler's putting these guys over. Sabre Jr. is basically way above them in overness because of the heel turn, but I'm going to be honest, he is way above this championship, and we'll highlight that in our plans with him. We had to obviously make him look strong, which did affect the rating. as did a lot of stats for Dolph. He might be someone that just needs a move to SmackDown, so that may happen after WrestleMania in the Superstar Shake-Up. But after the matchup, we got a plan ahead. Dolph Ziggler's in the ring. Zack Sabre Jr. still wants his revenge for costing him in this match as well. He decides to bring his friends, Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll. They all jump down. The three of them have a 3-on-1 assault on Dolph Ziggler. So 3 minus 75. Dolph was underwhelming. We're going to be moving a few guys, not just Scurll and Ospreay, but a few other Brits and Europeans over to Raw. I feel like with them on 205 Live, there's only a limit you can do with them. And I do feel like the Scurll, Ospreay will be higher than the Cruiserweight division going forward. So we've got plenty of guys coming up on 205 Live that just need space in their roster and a chance to improve so they can get to the main roster. So as much as it is 205 Live, it is really like an NXT for me. So if I feel like guys above the Cruiserweight division, they will move on. So we are going to have Euro Trash, as I'm going to call them. They're now it's Sabre Jr., Scurll and Ospreay. A certain Bruiserweight should be joining them on Raw. Plus maybe more. Next up, a music video hyping DIY. Disappointing C62, probably because they may not be over as much in Ireland, but basically, of course, we know they won the Tag Team Invitational, therefore giving them this basic matchup for the championship. Few teams involved, but we are looking to try and get, as I say, a good rating here. And as I say, it'll be interesting to see if DIY can capitalise and get their first championship together in the WWE. And it turned out to be a great match, great wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. DIY, the heel team, finally do it. They defeat the impressive Young Bucks and AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in 1803. The Young Bucks went out first, then it was AJ and Christopher Daniels. Your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions are DIY. So a B plus 86, lots of good performances there. Daniels went 90, and 83 for AJ Styles. So Daniels producing these performances at 48 is tremendous. Good performances always from the Bucks. Gargano and Ciampa, their journey is just going to begin. It says a lot when these are three of the teams on the SmackDown side. Raw didn't even go on this pay-per-view. The Rhodes Brothers have been doing okay. Apart from that, you've got the Revival. A couple of teams that just aren't quite as over. Big Cass and Enzo kind of floating about doing nothing. Vaudevillains are putting teams over. TM61 are okay. We still haven't got them to where I would want them to be. But a big kick up the backside is needed for the Raw side of things. And yeah, maybe we'll find a tag team. Maybe Euro Trash could get involved in that division. But new tag champs, I say we have, as I say, changed a lot of champions over this show. Sometimes you just need fresh feuds and fresh champions going forward. Amazingly as well, this says it was penalised due to a lack of associated hot storyline. So if this did have a hot storyline, would this have possibly been an A+ match? It makes you wonder. But great stuff from these three teams. Expected nothing less. Hopefully gives a big push of overness to Gargano and Ciampa. Next up, promo from Drew McIntyre against Sami Zayn. IC title on the line. Basically, Sami flipped a victory over Jinder because of a distraction. Drew McIntyre's been calling him out and just saying it's now time for him to reclaim his position as the chosen one. He had a great feud with Seth Rollins. It's got him over, and he believes Sami Zayn's next in his list, and he is going to become Intercontinental Champion once again. So 889 for Drew's promo. Match itself was okay. It was an exceptional matchup. Probably didn't get as high a rating as I'd have liked, but regardless, Drew McIntyre does indeed beat Sami Zayn in 1811 by pinfall with a Scott drop. Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Intercontinental Championship again. We've went full on in this push with Drew McIntyre. He's going to carry the belt going into 2020 or our pay-per-view just beforehand. Sami Zayn, I feel, is someone who we can have win as much and lose as much because at the end of the day, he plays an underdog well, and when he meshes with certain superstars, he can gain that overness pretty quickly. So we can afford him these kind of losses. I think he's a bit above the IC title, I must say, if I'm honest. But an 86 rating, Drew by a massive 93. Overall, a very good show. It says it was a lack of hot associated storyline. I thought it was honestly going well, that storyline. It was quite over. Apparently not. And it makes you think again, would that have possibly been an A-star match if it had the hot storyline? Guess we'll never know. After the matchup, Drew celebrates, big party, party's over, etc. B plus 88. Drew comes out at looking $1 million. Your new IC champ. Promo featuring Samoa Joe. So we're going to have our first of 2 main event title matches. He's pissed off, the fact is he's beaten all comers, Hell in a Cell matches, you name it. He's got to defend his title against 4 other guys in a true battle of survival. Kota Ibushi being one of those main guys. He's just basically said, it doesn't matter if it's Kota Ibushi, it doesn't matter if it's Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan or John Cena, he's going to make them all go to sleep and he's going to retain his championship because he's the most dominant champion in WWE, never mind the most dominant WWE champion. So A-Star 100, Joe looks $1 million. Does the match meet the promo though? I'm quite happy with that. An exceptional matchup which sees Samoa Joe defeat Kevin Owens, John Cena, Daniel Bryan and Kota Ibushi in 24:58 when Samoa Joe defeated John Cena by submission with a Kikuina clutch. Samoa Joe makes his second defense of his WWE title. Weak link was John Cena, obviously because of declining physical ability in A94. Everyone getting good 94, 93 performances there. 2 storylines advanced, gaining heat. The thing with John Cena, like, oh my god, you've just made John Cena tap out. Perfect. It makes you question, is John Cena past it? Is John Cena with his declining physical ability ever going to win that 17-4 title? John Cena's going to answer those questions on Raw. Are we seeing the end of John Cena? It remains to be seen. So a lot of questions to be asked and a lot of answers that we need from John Cena. Negatives there, his declining physical ability and the work of Corey Graves. Next up, Jinder Mahal. His gimmick's getting stale, so we need to check that. The storyline has lost a bit of heat. But an A90 promo, he's just saying how the odds have always been stacked against him. Why does he have to defend his championship against not 1 but 3 members of the Shield? Why does he have to be the guy who's been put all the odds up against him? He feels like he's been caught in a fire line between the rest of the Shield members. Match itself was exceptional. It just shows when you add Jinder Mahal to the Shield, magic happens. But it was an exceptional matchup that saw Dean Ambrose defeat Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal in 32:08 when Dean Ambrose defeated Jinder Mahal illegally using the ropes for leverage. Dean Ambrose wins the World Heavyweight title. A-Star 97, and this is with Roman Reigns off his game, only getting a 93, so all these guys could have possibly got a 95. This storyline continues, of course. The initial plan was to keep the title on Jinder. Dean was unhappy, Roman was unhappy, and I thought, you know what? I need to roll with Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose's overness has just increased. He's been knocking out of the park as a heel. Jinder done well. We've got 2 titles out of him. We've also had him as a Money in the Bank winner as well. He'll still float about the main event, but I feel we've got to go with Dean Ambrose. He's our money man at this moment in time. And I do have an idea for a belter of a WrestleMania storyline. It's going to involve some of the Shield members, so will that see the championship around their waist? Or could Jinder somehow shock the world and become a 2-time champ? So that remains to be seen. We are still 4 months away from Mania. A lot of things can change. No skill improvements, negative-wise, just Corey Graves and Roman's inconsistency. And we end the show, A-Star 100. Ambrose is celebrating with the title belt. Roman Reigns, in true Roman Reigns fashion, spear, beat down, holds the title belt up. Crowd boos, although he is the babyface. We meant to feel sympathy for him. But yeah, we all love Dean Ambrose. So A-Star 100, Roman stands tall, but Dean Ambrose is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And that storyline just happens to gain a bit more heat. Show in the end, A-Star 95. Disappointing it's still not that elusive, that 100 show that I want to get. We'll get there eventually. Very solid. I think the only thing I'm really disappointed about in the whole card was maybe the Gallows, Anderson, Usos with the Masters of Wrestling and the New Day. And possibly the matchup between Cole, Ziggler and Sabre Jr. But as I say, that might just be leading to something in the future. Of course, it's meant to be poor between Metalik and Neville. That'll be better down the line if they move into separate feuds. And I think we do have to hope that one day we will get that women's matchup that will draw that A rating. I'm determined to do that, and as I say, we will hopefully get that at WrestleMania. In terms of who we say done well, I think we can only really praise 3 people. We'll go with Seth. We'll keep Roman happy. As much as he's done well, we have to give it to Jinder. Sorry, Dean. One easy to miss out. So Dean Ambrose is not praised. But yeah, pretty damn solid show. The A-Star 95 obviously gains us pop in a lot of regions. But interesting to know how much fans will lose out on if we get a a notice for using Fergal Devitt going forward. Let's have a quick look as we move into December. So let's just see if we get any news regarding Devitt at all. So Incredible was an absolute success. That's good to see. El Patron wins the title for CMLL. No, thank you. No interest in signing him. With an NXT Wild Weekend for a ladies division in developmental, so that saw the likes of Caitlyn in there, the Owens twins. We also saw Sami Zayn, Daisy Hayes, Chelsea Green, Savannah. These kind of people getting an opportunity. Eric Young goes to Evolve, that's quite cool. Sean Ricker joins one of the created feds. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of this. Oh, we have a first refusal for Jimmy Jardine, so we'll have a look at him. As I say, he is basically someone from the Performance Centre. A new gen, he's a brawler, trained at the Performance Centre Turn Pro this year, born and raised in Nevada, 6 foot, 246 pounds, can play face or baby face or heel. Arrogant characters very well, uses the line palm strike as a finisher, flabby middleweight. Do you know what? Regardless, we signed them anyway, but we just put them into developmental to NXT for a 2-year deal to see how they do. And yeah, he's signed. Matt Hardy's got an incident, so he's probably been taking something. Matt Hardy has been identified as a hard drug user by the WWE drug testing policy, as the drug testing is done in-house. They've decided what to do. Perfect, this actually works out perfect. We'll just say, in terms of storyline, because I can really just write the storyline just now and then we'll do the pay-per-view matches going forward. We'll send Matt to rehab, so he'll be away for an extended period of time. Rusev's pleased, Paul London's pleased. A lot of people are pleased Matt's away to rehab. If we just quickly go to medical. So Matt Hardy's in rehab for 3 months, perfect. Jeff Hardy is just going to build and build and build and build. We're going to get him really over. Matt Hardy's going to be back in time for WrestleMania. Matt Hardy's coming back properly broken from his stint in rehab. We are going to have some chaotic shit going forward in March for WrestleMania. May as well just reveal that matchup. We are definitely 110%, barring injuries, doing Matt versus Jeff Hardy in a stipulation match. So looking forward to that. Gives me 3 months to build Jeff up as much as possible. Maybe even give him a lead title run, possibly. So it's still saying that Fergal's toxic. I don't see how much of an effect we've had. I don't really any new, well, might have news items there, so it's still going to show us that he's still considered toxic. He made a lot of money last month, actually good profits. Prestige 100, Momentum 98, so that hasn't really changed. Size, we're so close to getting to international, but again, it's no big deal. It happens, it doesn't. Finance, made 13 million. Sponsors was still good. Maybe that'll take an effect going forward because that was the end of the month. If attendances go, that's cool as well. We'll worry about that, as I say. Funds are good. But let's have a quick look then. So with the national battle, finished first in the US, first in Canada, Mexico and Japan as well. So that'll hamper the likes of New Japan and others. Manny Andrade's contract is up for renewal and All Japan have offered him a contract. I was possibly looking at bringing Trent Barretta in, but for 302 live, what? 205 live, but nah, we just leave them. I've got enough wrestlers, and that's a pretty stacked division. Especially likes now of Cedric Alexander coming up. Everyone's favourite, the one, the only, Pavel Kirkin is making his way to developmentals to the main roster as well in 205 live. So yeah, it's just a couple of guys to look out for. So he's going to go to All Japan, that's cool. Ziggler wants more wins, so does Bo. I need to find something for Bo. Ever since his close run to the main event, he's kind of jobbed out and just hasn't had that Bojo experience. You know, it's just that momentum's just not been there. Because we've done so many Survivor Series in real life and in game, we now have it as a historic event, so that'll gain better ratings and views going forward. We got a 4.36 in the pay-per-view buy rate. I think that's pretty decent. I don't know why, but at the start I was getting like 15 points and whatever. Then after a year it just dropped to like 3s and 4s, so that might be one of our better ones going forward. We can check that. 11k for drug testing. Pete Dunne doesn't want us to push Demi Bennett. Dean Ambrose doesn't like Rebby Sky. Fergal Devitt does like Cian Allison. Abby Leif is too small, says Machine Gun. Nicole Matthews is too small, says Matt Hardy. So we're fairly tearing into our female roster there. I'm in charge though, so fuck your opinions. wrestlers we're sticking with who we are happy with. So financially doing good, everything's going well. We've got Devitt back in, we'll see how that push goes as well. Why have I just had a complete brain fart and forgetting what we were going to check there regarding his notes? No, I can't even remember. Brain fart. But yeah, things are looking good. Creative meeting, as I say, it's the usual top guys. Next big thing, that's cool. We're going to try and push Patrick Clark as well. There is plans for him going forward. Pretty depressing we see AJ and John Cena on that. We have got Liger, but Liger's just kind of there for cool performances. Did Kellyanne get a good pop boost? Not really. She's still about the same. I know it's been a long video, but we'll just try and actually just quickly go through our main event guys just to see how they've been affected overness wise. So I've got quite a lot because of how many's on the roster. AJ at the 78 level, Tozawa 73, and Helico 66. That counts as a main eventer. That's how low in overness you need to be a main eventer here. Paulie Cruz 78, Double A 88s, Baron at the 88s, Big E 79s. Bo Dallas is still roughing about 85, so that's not too bad at all. Braun 78, so I think we might need to give Braun a bit of momentum. Bray 85s, Cesaro 77s, Charlotte just shy of the 80s, and 86 overness in the southeast, so she's doing well there. Hero's about the 73, so that's good. Daniel's pretty good ratings everywhere. Oh my word, the fact Dana Brooke is 85 over in Puerto Rico. Should we just push her to the moon to get her 100 over everywhere and just make her like the greatest women's wrestler ever? Daniel Bryan 86s, Ambrose in 94s, Dawes at 70s. I think he might be close to dropping to an upper mid. Still not yet, but soon hopefully. Drew 93s. This push for him has been absolutely fantastic. If we just quickly look at his popularity, that's a push and a half for you, especially even in the last 2 months, going from a 70 to a 93. But if you go 3 months, 65 over to 93. So yep, we've got Drew at the main event, and let's hope he has a good run with the title. David's 82, that's cool. As I say, there'll be good things for him going forward. Metalik's doing good things. Jeff will continue to build up. Jinder, not as a champion anymore, but still sitting at the 90s, so that's good to see. His title history should hopefully get him another run or two with a title belt to get him close to the Hall of Immortals. That would be pretty cool to see. Cena's an 85, so he's pushing. Kellyanne, as we saw. Kyo's roughly about 90s. Neville's just under the 80 level. Ibushi, high 88s, that's good to see. Gallows 67, he really should have been upper mid carder, but for some reason it was to push him as a main eventer, which changed him, put him back down. Marty Scurll 68, so I say big things ahead for him as he moves to Raw. Randy 82's not really doing anything. Roman strong as fuck at 95, so that storyline has boosted his overness like nothing else. So I say he's just the guy. He's just had a great month. I say maybe not winning the championship there, but as I say, him and Ambrose and Rollins and Mahal have done great stuff. 82s for Rusev, that's pretty cool. Sami Zayn has dropped a little bit, but again, he's someone whose overness really just kind of floats. It's kind of like a yo-yo effect there. Lows. I mean, that's when he was running as champion. Good runs there in September, dropped back down again. So he's someone we can easily push in real life. Like real life and give him a good opportunity. Joe's doing good as champion. Scott Dawson, for some reason, always seems to float between main event and upper mid carder. He should be staying as an upper mid because he complains a lot, but it just doesn't seem to break that cap to get any higher. Seth's back up to the 90s, so that was good. He's paid a shitload, so he should be at that level, but just shows you can drop him down to an 80 with a lot of losses and build him back up again. So he's built Drew up to be a star, and now he's back up as a star, so we've won one there. And the more stars we make, that means the more matches we'll have good, and it means when we're building stars in the future as well, we're going to have more guys to put them over. So that's good as well. So good stuff for Seth. We are paying him 70 grand a month, so hopefully, we can get repaid there. Strickland's 83. He's on the cusp of the main event. He's 29. Plenty of time. Miz, 39, is dropped in overness. I'm going to give him a big push going forward because, quite frankly, Mike Skills will carry it. And Zack Sabre Jr. back up to an 88 after that heel turn. As I say, that small turn just kind of cemented him back. But he's been solid all year round. See how Eurotrash does for him. So it's been a long video, guys, but thank you for sticking out with it. As I say, hope you enjoyed it. If you get any comments on the series, how do you feel the card was? Do you feel maybe I should cut down in the matches, or am I giving too many guys an opportunity? Or do you do the same when you are WWE? If you have such a stacked roster, do you look to just turn the match times off and just go, fuck it, give everybody an opportunity? If you're still booking WWE, let me know who's your champions, who's been your go-to guys. Have you ever brought someone back from toxic? Have you given them an opportunity and just thought, you know what, we'll take the risk and see what happens? Get any predictions for the cards going forward? The next shows are going to be from the Raw side of things. Armageddon, and from SmackDown it's going to be TLC, if I'm right in saying. Yep. So if you've got any predictions for those cards, any predictions for an early winner of the Royal Rumble, spoiler, I don't know either. And basically, what matches do you think have been hinted up for WrestleMania in March, which I believe is going to be WrestleMania 36. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. It's deeply appreciated. As always, likes, comments, subscriptions, all that jazz is always appreciated. Any tweets or whatever at 21Maxwell. Do my best to try and get back to you as quickly as I can. And of course, for more content, you can see video stuff on the Grey Dog Software forums and on the Fantasy Bookers subreddit. Written stuff as well on both platforms, as well as graphics, guides. Definitely check out the Grey Dog Software forums for just for information if you're really struggling how to book on stuff. As I say, having a little read through it can help and improve your booking. It's certainly helped me. And if you ever feel you're not getting high results and you feel like, oh, how come I'm getting 90 rated matches, 95s, and you're only getting 70s or 80s, go back and watch my first couple of videos. I was not drawing 90s. We were getting 76s, 75s. You need to build those superstars up, get those storylines just right, and once you've got a couple of guys over at 90 and start meshing them into other storylines with other guys, their popularity will escalate as well, and then you're going to end up with a lot of guys with good ratings. You'll know who's going to mesh well with each other, and boom, it's just a knock-on effect from there. So it's all trial and error. Once you get that winning formula, it's all good in the hood. Just watching, guys. I have blathered on like fuck, so I'm going to end the video now, and I shall catch you next time for our next pay-per-view. See you soon. Bye-bye.